We're back at it again with another Battlefront update. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well, but unfortunately no, this won't be an update video for a new community transmission that we all expected it to be. But with that said, we do have good news on that front. We now know when the transmission for the August update will be dropping and when the update itself will be getting released. In addition to that, we also have news on Clone Commandos, new Luke skins, a buff to Obi-Wan Kenobi coming soon, and so much more. And before we get into any of that, but a quick reminder, as if you do like these type of videos, then do remember to give it a like to show your support for not only this update series, but also the content within it. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Without further ado, we're gonna jump in straight to the meaty news that I'm sure everyone is waiting to hear about. And that's news about the August update and future content. For starters, we were hoping to be getting a community transmission detailing the update for August sometime this week. Considering DICE acted pretty quickly coming back from their vacation and dropping a community calendar on the first day of August, then it was only normal to assume that they would be putting out a community transmission the week after, either on Tuesday or Wednesday. But well, here we are now and we haven't heard a single peep from DICE about any community transmission dropping today, which could be seen as good or a bad sign depending on how you look at it. Maybe they're not satisfied or are embarrassed about what little they have for the August update, and aren't in any rush to share the details on it. Then again, it could be a sign of good things to come because maybe they're just so confident for what they have that they want to wait until Gamescom to announce it on the big stage. Which hey, both cases are entirely possible, but I'll go for the latter and assume DICE know what they're doing here. And yeah, if you missed the last Battlefront update video, I did mention that DICE will be waiting until Gamescom to announce news for Battlefront 2. And for those who don't know, Gamescom is a games expo that takes place in Cologne, Germany every year. This year, the event will run from August 20th to the 24th. The best way I could describe it is it's basically Europe's version of E3, and DICE have been regular attendees at the event. In 2017, it was first at Gamescom where DICE unveiled the Starfighter Assault game mode, which was the one and only time it ever received the most amount of attention from them. Then in 2018, while Battlefront 2 wasn't featured at Gamescom because we all remember the infamous content drought of early to mid of that year, DICE were still very much in attendance and instead were showing off Battlefield 5 to the masses. Now in 2019, Battlefront 2 will once again be at Gamescom and not only feature the August update, but as well what other future content is to come to the game. According to Ben Walk, DICE will be dropping a community transmission during Gamescom, which should clarify a lot of things not only for August but for future content as well. I also have to note that it's not yet known if they'll actually be showcasing anything else on stage of Battlefront 2 or not, like they did for E3 of last year with the Grievous and the Geonosis update. That part is all assumption because, like I said in the last video, why else would DICE specifically choose to wait so long into the month and on Gamescom of all days to really say anything? Based on Ben Walk's comment where he said, Gamescom happens this month, so it's safe to assume we'll be making announcements there. And based on that, it does sound like they do intend to show something Battlefront 2 related on the big stage. But what that's gonna be, well, that's still a mystery. It could be DICE wanting to show off the new PvE modes, or maybe something that'll be coming down the line. Either way, I do hope we do get something, as I don't really want the whole Gamescom thing to be a false flag and Battlefront 2 not even getting mentioned there at all. Kind of like E3 of this year, where a community transmission came out during EA Play, which featured Droidekas and the Saber Tank, but only Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order took the center stage at the event. But regardless of whether we will be seeing anything August related shown at Gamescom, Ben Walk did confirm that the update itself will be releasing at the end of the month, which by no means is a surprise and a usual thing to really expect from DICE. If Gamescom is from August 20th to the 24th, then the update may hit late like Wednesday the 28th or near around there. By the looks of it, it doesn't seem that DICE have locked in a release date yet, as they may still be waiting to get the green light from Sony and Microsoft. But for all the people who keep asking me about the PvE content and the update on a daily basis, do keep this in mind. The last week of August is when you'll be getting just that. As for what else we'll be learning during Gamescom, which remember, may or may not be at the actual expo, is Ben told us that DICE would be unveiling their plans on future content. It's very possible that this may be a new roadmap, as DICE did before tell us that they do want to give us consistent roadmap updates for future content. And considering the last roadmap they released was back in early June, then it would make sense the next roadmap update to come late August. The last roadmap we did get, most people saw as kind of bare bones, with DICE stating that they would be including more content on the next roadmap update. So in that case, I wouldn't be surprised if this would be it. According to Ben, DICE will be combining the community transmission for the August update and the new roadmap stuff into one big transmission, kind of like they did during EA Play. Which again, they released that during the event, but not actually at the event, which is important to take note of. As for what that new content may be, then there is a good possibility that Ahsoka and Ventress may finally be announced, considering from what we know of the leaks that DICE have been working on them since March. Then again, another even stronger possibility is that Clone Commandos could be unveiled as the latest reinforcement for the Republic. And I say this only because that Ben Walk has once again started teasing about his prophecy, which many in the community widely believe to be referring to Clone Commandos. This week Ben Walk told the fans, "Remember the prophecy? It should be fulfilled at Gamescom." If that does happen, then that would be insanely cool and basically the best thing fans would get to a Republic Commando 2 game announcement, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see. Personally, I still don't see DICE releasing only one new reinforcement for the Clone Wars era. Because if they do, then I'm sure people will complain about that, and I doubt DICE want even more of that on their plate right now. As for what else DICE may announce for future content, it seems that new skins are likely to be a part of it. As when someone asked Ben over on Twitter if there are any new skins for Luke Skywalker coming soon, then Ben replied with a cheeky "this is where the fun begins" gif, which generally was seen by the community as a good sign of things to come. And that's because normally when Ben gets asked these type of questions, if this or that is coming to the game, he will straight up ignore it or just tell the person no. But that fortunately wasn't the case here, so this is great news for Luke players, as I'm sure everyone will be able to agree on that it's about time he got some new skins. Although seeing as there are a lot of different Luke skin ideas, like Farmer Luke, Throne Room Luke, Best Spent Fatigues Luke, Hooded Luke from Return of the Jedi, Jedi Training Luke in Dagobah, or even the older Luke skins from The Last Jedi, so yeah, there's a lot and it's difficult to really pinpoint on what Luke skins we will be getting. Now, of course, I doubt we'll be getting all of those, but I do think it's reasonable to assume that we may be getting the Endor uniform Luke that's already a finished asset and was used in Battlefront 2015. I can also see the Farm Boy Luke skin as well, because like the New Hope Leia skin that came out before, that was also a finished asset intended to be released for the Death Star DLC in Battlefront 2015. So those two skins would make the most sense for DICE to put into Battlefront 2, considering that they would take the least amount of work. But what kind of Luke skins would you guys like to see? Next up, let's talk about what hero buffs should be coming to the game soon. And at this time right now, we could very well be looking at Obi-Wan Kenobi getting a buff for his dodge. Over on Reddit, one player started complaining that Obi-Wan has the worst dodge in the game when compared to the other Force users. He even uploaded a video showcasing this, and it didn't take long for Ben Walk to take notice. Ben responded to the post by telling the player that he's already talking to G about it. And G, of course, for anyone who doesn't know, stands for Guillaume Raz, who's the hero designer over at DICE and in charge of buffs and nerfs to hero characters. So considering that DICE are in talks about improving Obi-Wan's dodge, it's possible that it may even be included just in time for the August update, seeing as changing a character's dodge stats isn't that much work as compared to introducing new abilities or balancing attack stats with other heroes. But this is at least one last thing that Obi-Wan players will have to worry about if he does end up getting the buff this month. As for bugs in the game and any updates about them getting fixed, then fortunately there is some good news on that front. Ben has stated that DICE are currently working on getting a lot of the bugs that were reported during July fixed, and even recently started diverting more time to be dedicated for bug fixes. So after hearing that, I think it goes without saying that should start putting everyone at ease now. Especially as we spoke about that in the previous video on just how bad the bugs exactly were in Battlefront 2 during the month of July. And because while DICE were on vacation before and couldn't exactly fix anything at the time, now that they're back at work and see the long list of bugs that they have to deal with, then it's looking like August should be the end for all those pesky bugs, or at least we can only hope for. While I would love to see DICE drop a random hotfix later this or next week to squash them once and for all, I think the worst case is that we're probably gonna have to wait until the August update comes out at the end of the month to get those bugs sorted out. And while on the topic of bugs, but players have recently made it a point to DICE to get the officer's present star card dealt with. As according to one person on Reddit, the card itself is broken because of how easy it is to keep getting easy points from it. You'll be able to get points each time injured troopers start entering your radius, and even points when you're dead and take command of a vehicle. Suffice to say, Ben responded to this and said that he passed it over to the quality assurance team to take a look at it. Now, this doesn't guarantee that it will get fixed or not, as DICE's QA team will first need to experience the bug for themselves before they can confirm it needs fixing. But it's a step in the right direction, as at least now they have this bug on their radar. I've also been seeing a lot of people lately complain about not receiving the rewards from the community quests in July. The whole idea there was if you had participated in the events, then you would earn the right to get the event reward. Seems like a pretty simple concept, right? Well, not exactly for EA. Kevin Johnson from EA started responding to some of the complaints around this topic, and here's EA's official explanation on why you didn't get your rewards. In order for you to obtain the rewards, you would have needed to log into the game during the reward window of the community quest. Participation while the quest is ongoing does not guarantee access to the reward upon your next login. For example, if an Obi-Wan Kenobi quest started on the 18th but was only completed on the 25th, you would need to log in from the 25th to the 27th in order to claim the reward. The faster the community completes the community quest, the more time you would have to obtain the reward. It truly is in the community's hands. We are, however, aware of all the feedback coming in regarding the reward window. So there you go, you only have a few days time in order to accept the reward or else you lose it forever, even if you did participate in helping out a lot during the quest. In my opinion, the whole idea doesn't seem like it was thought out very well. As what happens if someone who contributed a lot to the event, but then is unable to play the game during those days to accept a reward due to a whole slew of reasons? Obviously, that doesn't seem fair, and I'm not sure why DICE just didn't have the rewards be automatically given or unlocked for those players. Instead, they just kind of leave a package for you to pick up for a few days. And if you don't pick up that package, then tough luck. DICE take it back and you lost your hard-earned reward. With that said, based on Johnson's last comment, it does look like they're now realizing that maybe this isn't the best way on going about this, and could change things for future events. Or at least that's the optimistic way looking at it. But that'll do it for this Battlefront update. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars related content. Thanks for watching and may the Force be with you.